ready now.
Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
And what can we expect?
Surprises!
Engineered by Jay Timko and produced by Eric Beatty. And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Hello.
Alrighty. Welcome to the Detroit Cast on a Wednesday edition of the Detroit Cast. I am Mike.
Hello.
That is Jay. And Timko is to my left. And Eric in front of me here. How's everybody doing? How you doing, Jay?
I'm well. Eric's a bit giddy today, so just trying to deal with him.
As opposed to every other day? Is he more giddy than usual?
He is. He's a bit more giddy.
Well, I know he hasn't showered in 3 days, 4 days now? Since the weekend. Yes, folks. Today's the Wednesday edition of the show. You haven't showered since the race over the weekend.
Friday night.
Since Friday night. He has not showered, folks, since Friday night.
How is this okay?
It's not. And anyway, he walked in the door. I went, Eric, you're wearing the same filthy socks as you were wearing yesterday. And he went,
that's just
I haven't showered since the race.
whole nother level. Not only has he not showered, he's wearing the same socks.
I
You can smell the dude.
I know.
I'm going to be honest. I slept in these clothes last night.
What is...
That's not right. It's not right. I don't know what I was like, dude, go upstairs and just shower. Go into the spare room, but I don't know if I want him in there.
Throw him in the pool. Go outside and get the hose on him.
Beyond nasty.
I just don't see the problem is I only have like 2 times that I shower, and one is if I work out, and 2 is if I'm going out for a Saturday night. Like a date or something.
Ladies, are you hearing this?
Yeah.
So,
is any moist women out there?
I just don't
Anyone getting
see-
sopping?
Well, I just don't see the reason. Like last night, I just went home, did nothing, woke up.
All the more reason to take a shower. You're not doing anything. You're not busy.
Got ready for the show, and then came here.
Right.
Don't
That
your
is-
parents yell at you?
I'm sure they would if they probably just don't even. I just kind of go down in the basement and they don't really come. They don't really come down and see me too often.
Eric. So we have some YouTube watchers. To this dude, unless you're really in the same room. Away from a man.
I don't even smell.
You do though.
Yeah, you don't smell yourself.
When it's you, you don't.
Yeah. How about we try that? Just shoot for tomorrow. Maybe we shower tonight or something. What do you say we give it a try?
Just to try it.
See how you
You
feel.
might like it. It might wake you up.
I'm not showering tonight, but I will shower before I come tomorrow.
I'm serious. I cannot go 24 hours without a shower.
Ugh, just
Can't
that
do it.
greasy feeling, man. I can't wake up without it. You know?
No.
I just don't care, I guess.
Yeah, I know. That's a problem, Eric. It really is. Well, let's say before you come back in the house, we've dipped ourselves in some sort of liquid form.
I will say
What do you
this,
say?
and not yes, and
All
I'll
right.
say this 2 things, and real quick on this stuff. I will say that I shower every time I run, or if I go out on Saturday, but I do not. Even if that does not mean that I always use body. Like a lot of times, it's just really 5 minutes rinsing myself off, and
And
Right.
not use soap or
Yeah.
shampoo?
like I don't even know the last time I've actually.
Wow.
I actually don't know the last time I've shampooed my hair.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding. I'm in the
I
shower.
believe you.
I'm in the shower, and it's
You're already
water.
there. What would be the deciding factor with not gonna do it?
Because you have to sit there and like
Lather,
put it in
yeah.
and rub it around, and
Yeah.
It's too busy.
don't have the goddamn
And-
stuff to do.
Yes,
I've
folks.
mixed up headphones with my man.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sorry
that's
about
frightening. Yeah, the bouquet in here is interesting. It's like a BO/cat piss.
Mhm.
And, if we can,
It sucks because I can't smell anything. I can't smell a thing. So
your
I
olfactory
really,
system isn't working.
yeah, no, it sucks. In some cases it sucks, but in some cases it's really tough. So I have to rely on you guys to tell me when it's bad, because it's a concern of mine. But just looking at Eric, it was like, okay, he hasn't showered. He looks like the cartoon characters that are really dirty and they've got like squiggly lines wafting off them, Pigpen type things. Like Eric is starting to get that look where he's just got that waftingness about him.
Has he always been like this? I mean, I haven't only known the dude for like 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, but it's never been addressed until now. But I'm assuming this isn't a new revelation in the world of Eric.
I will say this: it was better when I had a job. Like
you need to consider this a job,
dude. I'm your boss. You know, it's a real job.
when I had social people, I don't know. Like I don't know. Well, now that I don't have like the gun to my head that I have to necessarily take a shower in the morning, it's just kind of like that 30 minutes.
Well, Timco's just printed out a goal, something for you to shoot for, Eric. Okay. We've got meet Mr. Amu Haji. He's 80 years old.
Yeah.
He's the world's dirtiest man. Some would say. We could argue that Eric perhaps is. This guy, hero of Eric, has not showered in 60 years.
Come on.
I respect that. No, I wouldn't even. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, he looks like. Man,
he looks disgusting.
Oh,
I don't even know.
Yeah.
See where this goes, Eric? You see where this leads?
This guy's living in like the desert, though, and then look at this guy.
Yeah, don't act like he's a pig because like honestly, in our eyes, this is what we see when we look at you.
That's not this bad.
It's relative, but
that is wow. Well,
man,
he doesn't know the last time he put shampoo in his hair. He doesn't know.
I do use body wash on my body, but.
Wow, that's not something to be applauded, Eric. It really is not.
It's such a hassle. I hate having to sit there like this and.
Yeah,
this is, my kids are beyond this now.
Oh yeah.
Hey, go take a shower. You know.
Yeah.
Damn it, Eric.
Why can't he get a? Amazing. I don't know what the problem is. I thought solicit females, like, because Eric is a good dude. He really has some good qualities, and he's very likable. But I don't think I could do that to a girl. With all even these latest revelations.
I shower if I'm like going on a date or something. I mean.
Well, that's a good start. We need to get you going on more dates. Then.
No, I hate to bring up another situation.
Oh, no.
But about a month ago, when my buddy had died, we were gonna have a bonfire, and I put a bunch of wood in my car, and it turned out I didn't need it. And it was like a month before NASCAR, so I'm like, I don't want to get this wood out of my car. It's kind of hassle. I'll just wait till NASCAR for camping. And it didn't really hit my mind yet. But like starting about a week and a half ago, I started noticing a lot of ants crawling around my car. There's food in here. Maybe
there is a lot of food in his car.
But,
oh my God!
It's 100% cleaned out right now. Vacuumed and everything.
Because of the ants?
Because I had to clean out. It was definitely from this firewood in the back of my car, but I started to notice on a daily basis I was having ants crawling around my car.
I don't believe that his car is clean right now.
It's 100% clean right now.
Remember when I reported the $105 in cash just sitting on his seat? I opened the door because I thought about messing with him and taking it or something just to mess with him. And it's just rank in there. There is so much food in there. Just fry. Everybody has a stray French fry, whatever.
Right.
This is just like packages of stuff, whole pizza boxes. It's hoarder. It's hoarder mentality.
I cleaned out my car and I actually vacuumed and stuff. But when I pulled up the mat, there was a few bugs crawling around.
Dude. Wow, Eric.
Yeah,
wow.
Scrap those dating plans that you had, Mike.
Yeah, it's just not going to work.
We're not there yet.
No, we're far from there.
someday, but we're not
it's
there
a goal.
yet.
I don't know if it's a reachable goal, but it's something to shoot for.
The problem is I think I've digressed.
I think so too.
Worse.
Yeah. Well, it's something to work on. It's come to our attention now, and we'll definitely keep tabs on this developing story. We will. Hey, does everyone in the room have World Cup fever? Do we all have World Cup fever yet?
Yeah, baby.
I watched soccer yesterday.
I do, and I don't care if anyone else does.
I know you don't, and it's weird. I played soccer my whole life. 20 years I played soccer, and
you don't like it.
And I couldn't give a shit less about it. But I find
weird.
I know it is, but I do find it's very easy to get into these games. These like when the World Cup comes around every 4 years, it doesn't take much before it's like. Yeah, I get it, because I remember. after a few years. I remember how soccer's done.
Yeah.
It really was. And, yeah, well, whatever it was. Whatever the game one was. But that everybody was talking about how this Ghana team had knocked the U.S. out in the last 2 World Cups and how they needed to get off this fast start. And, boy, did they answer the bell there with a fast start.
30 seconds in, holy cow.
29 seconds, my man. 29 seconds in, scoring a goal. Most people hadn't settled into their seat at the bar yet.
Yeah. In most games, I mean, there's first 10 minutes, 12 minutes, they're just feeling each other out, so to speak.
Yeah.
Just passing the ball around a little bit. And, man, that was amazing.
What a shot by Clint Dempsey.
Yep.
That was amazing. That was in the one spot he hit that. The only spot.
1 inch one way, and it hits the goalie's foot, the other inch the other way. Held for 82 minutes.
Yeah, it sure did. And you were at a bar.
Yeah.
I watched it here. You were at a bar. What was it like at the bar when Ghana tied it up with a beautiful goal, by the way? That was a gorgeous goal.
Yeah, everybody was pretty deflated, and you had to assume it was going to be 1-1, right?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody scores that late, rarely do you have done another goal within the next 8 minutes or whatever, but it was a beautiful goal, and you could feel it coming. They were just pummeling us.
They really were. It was quite incredible that the U.S. squad was able to hold them off as long as they were, because it was literally in our end the whole game.
Yeah, and it was a problem. Even though Brooks ended up scoring the winner for us, he's the center back who replaced the injured guy, Beasler. That was a big loss, losing Beasler in the back. He's, it's sort of like taking a quarterback out of the back.
And what happened? He had a tweaked a hammy.
As
well.
Yeah.
So what's with the hamstring issues?
I know, man. 2 big ones. Altidore, who's their forward.
Altidore, yeah, he's big. Like that seemed like.
You know what? He's some people like him. Some people can't stand him. He's a guy who they've been waiting for years to be that big goal scorer, and he's really come up dry a lot of times. So is that a big loss? I'd rather lose him than a stud on the back line.
Yeah.
But he's probably out. If you've ever pulled a hamstring, recover from.
Yeah, I've never pulled one myself, but I know in football, whenever you see that, it's like, oh God, it's just one of those. The only thing you can do is rest.
Yeah.
You can't rush it back. You'll re-aggravate it. It's just one of those nagging things. It's going to bother you all year. It's a wash for the season. So I can't imagine he would be playing.
I can't imagine that.
Right?
Possibly Beasler coming back with the tweak, but no way Altidore.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
thinking. But then
thinking.
That gets everybody talking about Landon Donovan. Ooh, they should have had him on the squad, right?
Yeah, and Landon Donovan was a heartthrob guy. It seems like he's been around forever. I don't know how old he is. There he is on TV as we speak, giving a lot of interviews. Was he bitter? Like, he wanted to be on this team.
Oh, yeah.
And it sounded like it was really close, and the coach went another route and didn't take him.
Yeah, he's caught this World Cup fever 4 years ago, remembers him. He's probably the only one people remember. He's been the face of U.S. soccer for a while. He was a guy kind of when he was 15, 16 years old, identified as the next great one. And he's had a great career, but he's a guy who a lot of people don't like because they feel like he didn't live up to his potential by going overseas and playing. He stayed in the U.S. quite a while, almost his whole career, in fact. So there's some people who don't respect him a ton because of that. And then the biggest issue of him not being on the team is because about a year ago, when these national teams go through a qualifying cycle, and so they play in a group, and they play kind of a round robin with a group of teams, and they try to be one of the top teams in that group to come out and qualify for the big tournament, which is going on right now. Well, he ditched out of that during qualifying. He said, "Yeah, I need a year off of soccer." And so the coach was like, "What the fuck?
Who does that?"
I know.
Just I mean, it just seems like a selfish move to do to your team.
And I'm sure there are all sorts of personal reasons. Who knows? But he leaves, comes back, and the coach was sort of like, "Well, you got to earn your way back on," which he did last summer. He had a great summer with the U.S. team, but it came down to the final cut.
What's a great summer?
They played in this Gold Cup, which they sort of sent kind of the B national team there to play, and they ended up winning it. And Donovan scored like 8 goals in 4 games or something.
Wow.
He was sick. Yeah, he was really good. So he earned his way back into the fold at least, but in the end, Klinsmann just said, "Nah, we're going with some younger guys."
Yeah, that's what they mentioned. He might Donovan might not be the player he was in 2010. He might not even be the player he was last summer when he went on a scoring spree that carried the Americans to the Gold Cup title. But he was not washed up either. He would have been just the kind of insurance policy Klinsmann could use right about now.
Yeah, you'd like to have him now for sure.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of like an analogy that most people could grasp, like maybe Daniel Alfredson of the Wings.
Yeah.
Had he been scratched for the playoffs last year, you could be like, I could see that, wanting some younger guys in there. But at the same time, he has that experience. He's a good player. Yeah. Been around forever, and you could see why you'd want him in there as well.
Yeah, name recognition is, for me, like, it doesn't mean anything, honestly, but to me, I get that more than anything with him. He's the only name I really knew or would have known on that team had he made it. Have you seen, I guess they just came out with a new promo for the EA Sports FIFA World Cup video game?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, and I guess Donovan is taking kind of a little bit of jab at Klinsmann in it. I guess it's he's the focus of the promo. You want to see it?
Yeah.
Here we go. Laying in bed, puts on USA slippers. USA robe, slippers.
All these references to the World Cup.
Does US have enough firepower?
Donovan's playing the video game as him.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Not bad. So he's sitting there in his robe in his place, and he's playing the EA Sports video game.
It's as close as he can get, I guess, right now.
Going to Brazil.
The big chant for the fans was, "We're going to Brazil." So he's playing off that. I'm not going to Brazil.
Okay.
The player you want to watch, though, if anybody's getting interested in this team, watch Michael Bradley, number 4, their center mid. He played like shit yesterday. He's probably the worst I've ever seen him play. Dude's a player, man.
Really?
Yeah,
who is this?
Michael Bradley, their center mid.
Yeah. Is he the bald guy?
Bald guy.
Yeah. So what do you think happened to him yesterday?
I don't know, man. He's usually really in control. The criticism of the team yesterday was they didn't possess the ball at all. I mean, Ghana just possessed the whole time and came at him.
Yeah.
And usually Bradley can settle it down, possess the ball, connect passes, and he wasn't playing well. So watch him going forward. He's really good.
Yeah. So this sets up the U.S. for potentially a decent run, right?
Yeah.
They had before we were talking about this. They didn't necessarily have to win this game, but they had to at least get a draw. And it looked like they were going to play themselves right into a draw.
Yeah, that would have been really disappointing in their position. But yeah, they're in a group of 4, and the top 2 teams move on.
Group of death.
Yeah, and they're in group of death, which is
Germany,
the
Portugal, Ghana,
Ghana.
U.S.
Toughest group there is. So to get a win in your first game is enormous because now you put a lot of pressure on Portugal.
Who we play Sunday?
Yeah.
With Ronaldo, right?
Yeah, Ronaldo's the big guy there.
Yeah. Have you heard about this Croatian team and their ban?
No.
They've got a media ban.
Really?
They're not speaking to the media at all. Yeah, I guess the paparazzi there released some photos of them to the Croatian media of them in their training complex's swimming pool, nude swimming. And these guys are fucking livid about the fact that they released these photos in the press.
Why would they be nude?
I was going to ask you that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but
don't have time to put on some trunks, boys.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. It seemed a little odd to me that these guys would be sharing a pool nude together, but whatever. And so they're so upset about it. They're not speaking to the media. That'll show them. Right. Yeah, they are determined that they will not speak to the media. Their coach Niko Kovac says, "I don't know if this will last until tomorrow or until we're at the World Cup. I can't force them to change their mind and their families." So.
Yeah, stupid checkerboard jerseys, right? The red and the white.
Yeah.
Stupid looking.
Yeah, that down there at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then someone was burning the U.S. flag yesterday too.
Really?
Or a couple days ago. Yeah. Yeah. See the story above that. Anyway, it was good. I found myself getting into it, and it was easy to do, especially right out of the gate, scoring 29 seconds in.
Yeah, and what I think Americans, they always want to see the score. That's what will ultimately hold the game back. I like it because the lack of scoring and because it appears to be a slow game at times.
Yeah.
But if you can appreciate the skill that these dudes, I mean, to watch some of these long kicks and then they just bring it down with one touch right to where they want it.
It's amazing.
It is.
It is incredible.
If you've ever played a second of this game, you realize how incredible these guys are.
Yeah. That and hockey both.
Yeah.
The control they have with the puck on the ice and the control that these soccer players, these world-class guys have with the ball. I mean, yeah, we played through high school, and you play enough years, you would think that we'd be good enough to – they make it look so easy that you would think it's easy. It is so goddamn hard to stop a ball that's coming at you in the air, whether on the ground or in flight, and to see these guys like there's a magnet on their feet in the ball, just drop it right there. It's incredible. They are. The thing I can't stand though are the flops though, which have always driven me nuts. Didn't bother me as much yesterday. I didn't notice as much.
Yeah, that's a big cultural difference, and that's a big obstacle, I think, to Americans as well, as they see that, and it's pussy, you're a pussy, you know? Well,
yeah,
I say that a lot, too. The South American teams are known for that.
Yeah.
It's awful. A lot of them are just ridiculous and awful, but it's gamesmanship. You know, you get in that 18-yard box, and you're looking for a penalty kick, so that's why they're flopping in there.
Yeah.
If they're flopping outside of that, a lot of times they're looking for a rest, or they're looking to give their team a rest. Because here they are running for 90 minutes straight. You know, well, you get a halftime at 45, but get my point. I mean, there's been studies on these guys, chips in their shoes and stuff, that show that they run 8 miles a game, depending on the.
I thought it was even more than that.
Yeah, depending on the position, it's you know, you can easily run that amount.
Wow.
And it's that, you know, quick sprint, boom, touch it exactly to your foot. That's it's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's impressive as hell. Oh God, what was I gonna say about that? Oh, the one thing though, I thought at first was a flop, but what's his name, getting kicked in the face? He broke his nose.
Yeah.
Broke his nose, man. Yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah, Dempsey's a tough dude. He takes a lot of that.
Yeah.
You can tell by his face, right?
Yeah, his coach was saying they're not the first. He's broken his nose many times. So yeah, exciting, man. I know the country. It doesn't take much to get Americans rooting and behind something, and a win like that will do it. So it'll be fun to watch. Hopefully they can build off that momentum, because they haven't had the best luck in the World Cup matches.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to see them make a run. It could be exciting and fun. Anyway, so I'll be watching, Jay.
Good,
as much
man.
as I can't stand soccer for the most part, I'll be watching.
I don't care if you do.
I know you don't. I'm just saying it just doesn't make any sense that you got a goal that big and you can't score on it. It's just ridiculous to me. I can understand if it was a hockey size net, but it's a goal. The goal is fucking huge. Why can't you score? Why can't they score? Answer me.
See those goalies flying across.
All worked up. Hey, it's anniversary today, June 17th. It's first off G's birthday, my brother. Happy birthday, G.
Happy birthday, G.
Yeah, G Money, and I'll never forget his birthday as being the same day as the Juice is loose, the Bronco Chase Day.
Perfect.
Which cut into the finals, the NBA finals that year. Yeah, so we'll get into that in a minute. But have you seen this, Jay? This guy that went on this rant on Facebook, bitching about his wife, and I guess he was arrested, and because he was talking about killing his wife.
Right.
Yeah, and the Supreme Court agreed to I can't, threaten to. It's illegal.
I'm new to Facebook,
yeah,
but I've not seen that. I've not seen the death threats yet.
Yeah, I haven't
Are those
either.
coming, or?
No, I don't think they are. But it immediately gets into one of those things where people that are for free speech, or what it is, and I'm one of those people. I fight for free speech no matter what it is. I don't give a shit what you're saying and how horrible it is. I want people to have the right to say it. But it gets into a sketchy, tough, gray area when you're talking about, because I don't think anybody has a problem with when someone yells fire in a crowded theater, agreeing you don't want to sit back in that case, where you're talking about possibly injuring people and putting people's safety and health at risk. I think that's fair, that you can't yell fire in a crowded theater and get a stampede going on. So I don't know. What do you think this falls into? Whether
isn't the whole thing about this case, the speaker is saying, well, I didn't really mean it. I didn't mean it to be a threat. I just, I should be able to say whatever I want. I wasn't threatening a person. And the other side of it is, well, doesn't it really depend on the victim? Like in this case, the wife perceived a threat, and therefore, the crime that this guy was charged with had to do with, threatening a person, that person's perception of it. So yeah, isn't that what this thing toggles on? It does. Whether he meant it or whether who we're looking at in terms of their mindset, right?
I guess his name is Anthony Alanis, and in 2010 is when this happened, and he was going on and on his Facebook page about killing his wife and others, including genius here, including killing the FBI agent who was investigating his actions. Smart move.
He really wanted to push it, right?
Yeah, that's someone being a prick, right?
He wanted to create the most extreme fact pattern he could.
It sounds like it.
But what if if we leave it on the subjective intent as explained by the speaker, wouldn't he always say, well, I didn't mean it? No matter what hell he put his wife through?
Well, the only catch to this is, I guess, was copied nearly word for word for the satirical sketch by the Whitest Kids You Know comedy troupe. And other rants that he had were almost direct quotes from rap songs. So
yeah, but it's all the same theme. It's all the same sort of threats aimed at the wife. Isn't he really? What's he really saying there?
Right, but
even though they're not his original words, isn't the intent the same?
I've never heard of that comedy troupe, by the way, the Whitest Kids You Know comedy troupe. I'd be interested in seeing what they are, or what that is.
Sounds like that group that Eric was in when he was lighting his nuts on fire.
That's not even.
But yeah, his quote too is funny. It's illegal. Did you know that it's illegal for me to say what I want that I want to kill my wife? It's illegal. It's indirect criminal contempt. It's one of the only sentences that I'm not allowed to say. Yeah, I think it comes down to, and it'll be interesting to see how the courts rule on this. How do you have
law already says and all that, because they look at how have cases been decided before, and they'll look very specifically at the language of any statute that applies, and what has Congress said is barred here. So it's going to turn on, especially when the four conservatives, are very strict constructionists. They look at statutes very narrowly, and it's going to turn on how they interpret. Well, what it'll turn on is our man Kennedy, who decided that Michigan case that we talked about at length. Yeah. He's usually the swing vote. You usually have liberals on one side, the four conservatives on the other, and then Kennedy in the middle. So it really comes down on what Justice Kennedy thinks.
Yeah. Well, in 2003, kind of going along the lines of what you're talking about, in 2003, the Supreme Court ruled in Virginia v. Black that a state law equating cross-burning with intimidation went too far, reasoning that not all cross-burning was meant as a threat. Clarence Thomas, the lone black jurist, dissented. What does that mean?
It means he disagreed, and he wrote an opinion saying, I disagree. I think it should go the other way.
Okay. Since then, courts have split on what constitutes a threat. A perp's subjective intent to threaten, or anyone else's objective interpretation.
Yeah, see, that's what it turns on. Who are we looking at here? Who's going to explain the situation? Who's going to say my feelings are what matter? It's kind of a tough one.
Most but not all courts have said it's the latter standard used to convict Alanis in this case, which would be anyone else's objective interpretation.
So in this case, the wife would say, this dude's freaking me out. He's posting all this shit about killing me.
Yeah, which gets into a scary area because she might know absolutely he doesn't mean it, but she's pissed off because they're divorced, and is she really scared for her life, or does she really just hate this fucking guy?
Right.
And vice versa. The court declined to get involved until now. Last year it denied a petition from a man convicted of threatening on YouTube to kill the judge in his child custody case. How stupid are people?
Really?
Wow. The new case, like I said, dates to 2010 when Alanis, when his wife left him after a 7-year marriage and took their 2 children. Apparently despondent, he lost his job. They're in Allentown.
With Halsey.
Yeah, at an amusement park. I don't know if it was a nude one or not, but it was at an amusement park, and he began a series of dark postings, often in the form of rap lyrics in his Facebook profile. He said the rants were therapeutic and disclaimed any true threat. His wife obtained a protection from abuse order against him, which led to more rants. He was arrested and given a 44-month sentence plus 3 years supervised release. He finished his prison term this year. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Supreme Court looks at that.
Yeah.
The other one that the Supreme Court is going to look at, or they did look at, they ruled on this one. The straw gun purchase law.
Yeah.
Were you familiar with this one?
Yeah, the idea that whether you have to disclose who the ultimate owner of the gun will be.
Yeah. So if I'm a law-abiding citizen and legal gun owner, and you are a law-abiding legal gun owner, with this ruling, I can't buy a gun in my name and give it to you, right?
Yeah, 'cause you're the straw man in between. Yeah.
Now, why would people do that? Just as gifts? Like, I was trying to figure out, like, who are these people that would... I would think, yeah, the point is to know where this gun is going, so you know the line of where it's registered and to who. So why would anybody want to buy a gun and give it to someone else? I wouldn't think you could do that.
Unless they're doing it, they say, like, the idea of a criminal doing it.
Well,
but aren't they just going to do it anyway then? They're not. They'll just say, yep, it's to me. Yeah, gun control advocates were delighted with this decision. This is a very big, very positive decision. It will save lives by keeping guns out of the hands of dangerous people. Yeah, bullshit. Illegal people that want to break the law are not going to follow the law and the rules about gun ownership. They're going to go get an illegal fucking gun. That's not rocket science. Well, I was going to buy this gun for my...
God, if it was just legal, I could get my gun.
If only I didn't have to tell them who I was giving this to.
If only there was a way without telling them. It's called black market. Right. Get an illegal gun like all the other ones do. The only people affected are the legal gun owners who are responsible.
Doing it anyway, you're right. Why would you, a legal gun owner, buy a gun and then just give it to Jay? Even if you were going to maybe buy a birthday present, wouldn't you have him maybe go pick it out anyway, or what's the difference?
I don't know.
A lot of it doesn't matter, I think, with practical application, but I think gun control versus NRA sides are just chipping away at each other, and any time they can get a victory like this, it's like it's a big press opportunity, and
totally.
I don't know.
I guess this particular case started with the straw purchaser in the case, who bought a Glock 19 handgun for his uncle in Pennsylvania. Both were legal gun owners, but the purchaser, James Abramsky, filled out a federal form indicating that he was the actual buyer of the firearm. His attorney, Dick Dietz, argued that a compromise reached in Congress decades ago was meant to focus only on the initial buyer, even if it did intend to identify the ultimate purchaser. Abramsky didn't violate the law because his uncle was licensed to own guns. Congress didn't use terms like true buyer, true purchaser, or actual buyer because they are not concerned about the ultimate recipients of firearms or what happens to a gun after it leaves the gun store, his lawyer said. The Justice Department disagreed, arguing that Congress always sought to identify the ultimate gun purchasers but did not want to intrude on private transactions. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, a lot of these Supreme Court deals too, they're really... It's an ongoing battle of the conservative versus liberal philosophy. So here the liberal won out. in that they won a 5-4 decision over conservatives, and I think Scalia wrote the dissent there where he's saying, look, this was against what Congress said in the law, and there's this constant tension between, liberals want to look at the law and put perhaps a more practical application to it and expand it and say, well, this doesn't make sense in this instance, it's not fair, it results in X, and X is bad for society, whereas conservatives typically want to look at the law and say, well, wait a second, that's what the legislature said, and so we need to interpret it that way. We don't look beyond that and just say, well, in this instance, it doesn't fit. The legislature has said, the people elect the legislature, and so we don't go conservatively beyond that. So all of this has that kind of in the background looming. Yeah. So all of these, with that backdrop are being, the specific facts are being placed against that backdrop. So wow. I know, and that, it brings, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but the idea, I think we talked about first ladies and stuff and how do they get their power and how wrong is that? Mm-hmm. One thing to consider, and I always consider this when I'm voting, especially for president, is, what are the implications? What does the president get, in terms of power after that? And one huge one is the power to appoint Supreme Court justices. Yeah. And so if you want a certain philosophy to go forward, into forever, because when they're appointed, dude, they're there for a long time. Some of these guys sit for 40, 50 years, right? Jesus. I mean, that's a ton of power. It's almost all I think about when I vote for a president, because so much of the time they get nothing done because Congress stalled. Fuck. But the judges, they form the policy of the country going forward. So if policy going forward, think about that. If you want. Yeah, because I mean, every week we read about more rulings by them, and they cherry pick what they're going to take and look at, and a lot of these guys stay on for many years until their party gets in power, and then they ditch out so that they can be replaced by the same judicial philosophy. Knowing that someone's going to appoint another one of them who believes along their line. Wow. It's it's very, very political. Yeah, it's all political. God, dude. Anyways, it's over my head. That's for damn sure. But as I mentioned before, we should probably talk about the juice and the 20 years. What are you shaking your head for? I just can't believe it's been 20 years, man. It seems like yesterday. I know. That it just seems so crazy, the circus of it all, the perfect storm that it was, and they talk about how much it shaped like how we view TV now, and for sure that reality TV, it was the OJ show, man. Yeah, it was. That whole summer, I remember just sitting there for a whole summer watching that every day. Mm-hmm. They absolutely believe that it ushered in this entirely new media environment, and at the time, so many of the trends that now engulf us had their roots in the chase and the ensuing. That's really the first time I remember. And trial of the century, and all the stuff that went along with it. And how big was the helicopter following a chase at that point? It was probably being done, but now it's like every day there's one, right? Yeah. Yep. Anytime you got a guy taken off from the law, the chopper will be up there. And you're right. At the time, the chopper was up there to give you traffic reports in the morning and at rush hour. But they talk about how that changed the whole landscape of this saturation coverage of a single story, celebrity journalism, reality TV, the fascination with criminal trials. CNN, earlier this year took tons of heat for the whole missing plane, the Malaysian flight. But the phenomenon started with OJ, when the cable news pioneer devoted 900 hours of airtime to the subject. 900 hours to the juice. During 1 week, the networks turned over a total of 84 minutes of their nightly saga. Real people, rather than a produced drama, could rivet the nation became a... It was the perfect drama. It had everything. It really did. No, you're absolutely right.
It was a case with all the elements: race, gender, domestic violence, courtroom pyrotechnics, celebrity protagonist, color. It even had a Kardashian, they point out.
The first Kardashian.
Yeah, the one, Kim's dad, Robert, who's no longer here.
You ever see his face when the verdict's read? He's just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" You know,
no way.
He's sitting there just like, "Oh my god."
The way Simpson dominated the news media was amazing. This was '94. Just one cable news network was on then. That's it.
Damn.
You think about it now, like what's on TV? Cable, CNN was it. There was no internet, no social media, no TMZ. If it happened today, can you imagine the coverage of something like an OJ trial in this world today? Many tabloids, Ramsey, Lacey Peterson, Casey Anthony, the list goes on and on. But none of them could duplicate OJ. OJ was twice as big as all of those.
If it were to happen today, though, do you think, though, that if something else happened like that, having gone through OJ, would you react differently to it? Like I would go, you know what? I'm not getting, balls deep into this thing. I've seen how this goes. I'm not going to be pulled into this. Like the Malaysia thing, I kind of, looked at a 30,000 foot view and kind of know what's going on, but I'm not going to sit there and follow it every day. I kind of learned from that, like, you know what? Step back from this shit. You don't have to be so close to it.
Well, I think that's true if it's unless the story has all those elements. Now, if it's a story that you did care about, like the Malaysia story, I'm with you, man. Like it didn't have all the right elements.
But after a week,
it was like enough. It was you knew day one. They weren't bringing you any new things. They didn't have anything new. Yeah. They still don't, and it just kind of faded away. Just like a lot of these. Kind of
like Good Luck Jonathan.
Good Luck Jonathan.
What the fuck happened to those girls? 300 girls.
300 girls. That was the rage of the country. Our first lady, as you mentioned, holding up signs, hashtag bring back our girls.
Now we're on to World Cup fever, and we're done with that?
Yeah, that is over and done with.
My God.
Screw those 300 girls. Good Luck Jonathan. None of it. You don't even read it in the papers anymore. Nothing. It's like, who cares about those girls anymore? The World Cup's here.
Exactly.
Nigeria's in it, and I wonder if Good Luck Jonathan was at the game.
More people are asking that. Hey, I wonder if Good Luck Jonathan's going to be there. Like, hey.
He's a celebrity now.
Yeah, he is.
Good luck.
Like, what happened to the 300 girls?
Yeah.
Is anybody still looking for him? It's sad, but that's just the way.
Good Luck had it all in control, right, Mike?
Yeah. Well, he knows I'm one big news story away from, Good Luck is back. Good Luck's doing his thing. Yeah, they'll all forget about it. I just need anything. Give me the World Cup. I'll take the World Cup. Roll the dice on that. Hey, World Cup is here. I'm in the front row signing autographs. Yeah, but at the time, the juice, that was everywhere. So I think in the juice, what it had different was, like, it was so impossible to conceive before that O.J. Simpson would decapitate his wife and a stray waiter. Like, that was just it was crazy.
I remember thinking that too. Like, of all people, holy shit.
The biggest celebrities around paper to be one of the nicest guys ever, was friendly with everybody, was liked by everybody. It crossed the racial lines. Like, white people loved the juice, black people loved the juice.
That's why the idea that he was framed because of his race was so far-fetched and stupid. Like, what?
Yeah.
He's just OJ. You didn't even think of him in racial terms.
Not in the least. If anything, quite the opposite. You thought of you just didn't even look at him like that. As like a black guy, one of those. Like, he was more of a white guy than anything.
Right.
He lived in white neighborhoods and hung out with white people and did white people things like golfing.
Sat in white Broncos.
And banged the white chicks. Like, he was anti-black, if anything. He totally ran away. He got as far away from his original community as he could. He got out of those neighborhoods and never looked back until he was accused of murder.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, dress up the house and put some, put his mom's picture on the wall and black people on the wall and parade black people through here. Like they totally changed the entire landscape of what his life was for that case. What's funny, though, everybody's trying to get their angle on the 20-year anniversary of the whole OJ thing. But I thought this was hilarious. The paper today has a big story on what happened to OJ and the Bronco.
I saw that.
The Bronco.
I had never thought about that until I saw that. I'm like, oh my.
Where is the Bronco?
Because the Bronco was Al Cowlings.
Yes, most people don't realize that.
It wasn't OJ's.
It was not OJ's Bronco. It was Al Cowlings. Now, Juice had the same Bronco.
I was going to say, Juice, right, and Juice probably bought that one for him. But
For Al, yeah, you're probably right.
No, you're right. He did have the same Bronco because blood was found in it and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seen leaving the crime scene.
Yep. So anyway, as the pair led the police on that chase at 35 miles an hour on the 405.
That slow speed follow.
Mm-hmm, the slow speed follow, not a chase. 95 million people tuned in that day to watch that. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
20 years ago, the spotlight did not belong solely to them. They shared it with the 1993 white Ford Bronco. More than a half dozen news helicopters were tracking it. More than 24 squad cars pursued it. Hundreds of people on the freeway overpasses in LA gawked and cheered and waved. They were holding signs. Like they had OJ Run Juice signs. They had time to make a sign and get over to the 405 and hold it up as Juice went by.
I mentioned that to you as we were looking at this prior to the show. I said, look at these jackasses. And you're like, dude, we'd have done the same thing. You're right. We would have.
We would have. Look, yeah, we're looking
completely
at this
oblivious to the magnitude that, two people died in this.
Murdered.
Yeah. Go, Juice, go. We'd have been running alongside the Bronco.
High-fiving him. Juice! The juice is loose. So, yeah, so the question is, where is that Bronco? I wonder what it would be worth. We all know where Simpson is. He's in jail, convicted of kidnapping and armed robbery in 2008. He's at the Lovelock Correctional Center in Nevada. How can anybody say I killed my wife? How can anybody say that? I love Nicole. Bob Turr, who was the first news helicopter pilot. Anyone know where he is? He provided 22 minutes of exclusive footage that night. Now he goes by the name of Zoe. He's awaiting surgery for a sex change.
How random is that?
How awesome is that, by the way? Oh, Zoe.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
God.
Zoe.
Really?
Yeah, that's a good old Bob Turr. How you doing there, Bob? Bob Turr. Tom Lang, the detective who by cell phone was talking to Juice, and that was really interesting to hear those. I'd never heard those calls before with him going, no, Juice, everybody loves you. Just put the gun down. They wanted him to throw the gun out the window.
Yeah.
Loaded gun. They wanted him to chuck it, but obviously he didn't. But he now is retired. He's writing books about it. The Bronco and the man who drove it have proved more elusive. 2 years ago, a TMZ cameraman cornered Cowlings in a parking lot. A year ago, former NFL teammate Charlie Ferguson said Cowlings was working for Wayne Hughes, founder of Public Storage, and living in Los Angeles. Now, 6 months ago, former tennis partner Joe Kolkowitz said Cowlings had retired. He thought Cowlings was living in the same place. The same place? He wouldn't say. So they don't really know where Al Cowlings is.
Would you recognize him if you walked through here?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
Nope. At times, the whereabouts of the Bronco have been even harder to pin down, but court records, car records, and interviews help piece together what has transpired with perhaps, they say, the most vehicle of the 20th century. I was trying to. Was that a link?
That's at Henry Ford Museum.
Yeah. Yep. The Pope Mobile.
The Batmobile.
I was going to say the Batmobile. Yeah.
The monkey.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Didn't you go in the monkey ride once or something?
Yeah. The Monkey Mobile. Mel's car. What else?
Maybe a James Bond car, one of those. Although he's had a lot of them.
Yeah, I couldn't pick out a James Bond car.
That Lotus, that white Lotus that he drove into the water in the one movie.
Yeah.
The DeLorean.
Oh, the DeLorean, yeah.
DeLorean.
Back to the Future.
Yeah, Back to the Future.
Eric's a huge Back to the Future fan.
You know what I've always thought was interesting is the lunar lander. It's still on the moon. It's still there. You don't even think about it.
Yep.
But all the hype about it, it's still just sitting up there.
Bunch of shit just sitting up there.
Just
still.
sitting there.
Yeah.
Assuming we went there.
Yeah, in some soundstage.
So that two-door SUV, two-door V8. I didn't realize that was a two-door.
Yeah, really.
It must be the sport version, like the what was it, the Explorer, the two-door sport. So that Bronco was a two-door V8. Came off the assembly line in March of 93. About 14 months later, June 17th, 94, it riveted this memorabilia collector, Michael Cronick. And Cronick was in Las Vegas for an Elvis Presley estate auction, watching TV when NBC interrupted the coverage of the finals. And suddenly Cronick and millions of others found themselves watching this Bronco cruising across the 405 at 35 miles an hour. He says, I called my attorney. We've got to have that truck. That's going to be the most famous truck. He thought the car was Simpson's, but later he learned, like as we all did, later he learned it actually belonged to Cowlings, and so they began searching for it.
Isn't that something that someone would think in those terms?
Yeah.
That would be sort of the last thing I would think. Oh, that truck is going to be infamous.
Famous.
And,
yeah, I know. It is weird. And I didn't realize this either. Released from jail on $250,000 bail after being charged with aiding and abetting a fugitive, Cowlings had returned home and didn't want to drive the car ever again, according to Don Crease, a friend of Cowlings. I didn't realize he went to jail for aiding and abetting Juice that day.
I remember that generally, yeah.
Really? I don't know why I didn't know that. So Cowlings says, go ahead, find somebody to buy it. Shortly thereafter, Cronick and Crease had connected. The memorabilia collector made an offer, $75,000 for the Bronco, along with 250 autographed photos of Cowlings driving the car.
What?
Jeez.
The morning of November 2nd, 94, Cronick and Crease met at the Westwood Marquis Hotel. Then it was a matter of finding Cowlings. Twice he called Crease to say he was running behind, then 3 hours late. Cowlings called again. The deal was off, he told Crease, whatever. The collector and Cowlings eventually met in court. He sued him because he thought he had a deal. The collector sued Cowlings for damages in excess of $200,000. They reached an undisclosed settlement in '96. 2 months later, Cowlings' attorney, Stanley Stone, said the car was sold for $200,000, though he did not identify the buyer. The car ended up with another one of his clients, Michael Polwer. News reports later described Polwer as a collector, but one of his cousins, said the family knew him as something else. He's a porn king. Of course a porn king gets thrown in the mix into this. Yeah. My dad wouldn't really let me or my sister be around him when we were growing up because of the business he was in. In the 90s, he started his own adult film company, Paradise Visuals, produced more than 50 movies starring people like Tracy Lords, Christy Canyon, Ron Jeremy.
Of course the hog weasels into this story.
Yeah, of course he does. When he introduced Jennifer Peace, an adult film actress who went by the name of Devon Shire, to one of Polwer's friends, Al Cowlings. The link was Polwer, who socialized with Cowlings, Simpson, Marcus Allen, Driftwood. I love that. I think it was Nicole described Marcus Allen's dick as as big as a piece of driftwood. So yeah, this Polwer guy who is socializing with all three of them now. One of Polwer's cousins said Polwer told him he'd purchased the Bronco in part because Cowlings was having financial trouble. He filed for bankruptcy in '97. Once in Polwer's possession, the Bronco spent most days in an underground parking garage at a luxury condo where he lived. At one time, he was going to raffle it off. They know of 2 public appearances the Broncos made. When Polwer moved to Miami, but he kept his condo and left the Bronco in the garage. And in 2012, Jerry Barrison, who had worked for Polwer, got a call from his old boss. He needed a favor. Would Burrison help load the Bronco onto a car carrier? The car was headed for a museum in Vegas. That's all he told me. That May, the Bronco appeared in Las Vegas outside the Luxor Hotel. It was there to help publicize the opening of SCORE, a sports memorabilia museum and exhibit. 6 months later, the Bronco appeared in Connecticut. It was at the Brandt Foundation for an exhibit featuring this artist, Nate Lohman, who has used a topless picture of Nicole Brown Simpson in his work. During a recent interview, Loeb said he thought the Bronco was in Miami with the 63-year-old Polwer, who has not responded to voicemails, text messages, emails, or a letter from USA Today Sports trying to get a hold of this guy. Can't get him. All taken care of. It's not on the street, he recently told the Daily News in New York, declining to identify the car's location. I think someday somebody will want to have it in a museum of famous or infamous cars, but on this anniversary, I think we should care more about the people who were killed than the white Bronco. Yeah, right. At the security office outside the parking garage of Polwer's high-rise condo in South Beach, 2 officers said they have never seen it. USA Today Sports' hunt for the Bronco eventually led to a friend of Polwer. Hunter was Bronco, he said. He got several calls a day about the car, but it wasn't in Miami. It wasn't in California. So as the anniversary fast approached 2 decades after the chase ended peacefully, the 93 Ford Bronco is still on the lam. Crazy. They can't figure out where that is.
Yeah.
Why would you have it, but then not want to, like, what would be the point of buying it? But then
I don't know.
Keep it a secret. Like, you're going to buy the OJ car, but then you're just going to not tell anybody about it. It's just...
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. It seems weird. It does. But, yeah.
Create more of a market, I guess, by making it sort of this mysterious.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, why don't we take a quick break? We're probably not going to solve it here, but when we come back...
Eric will solve it. Don't worry, everybody.
I'm going to drive
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I'll drive down there.
5-minute break. Eric's got this.
I figured it out, guys. When he's dead nuts, he's got it covered.
I think it'd be awesome to drive down there and track him down.
Go find Polar, pound it on the stuff. When we come back, we should talk about the zoo, the Detroit Zoo in Royal Oak. A case out of McDonald's. We got an issue at a McDonald's. It involves a sheik, our friend Grimace, who looked like the grandma that's banging her grandson. It's all I can.
Pearl.
Yeah, Pearl. Star Wars. We should mention some news with Star Wars as well, and
with Eric being a huge Jar Jar Binks fan.
Yeah, I didn't know that until you found that out about him.
He just said it, and everyone jumped on it.
Shut his mic off. I don't want to hear it. Yeah, we all know Eric's full of shit. He's a huge Jar Jar Binks fan. He came out with that and told us all, and we learn new things about him all the time. He doesn't shower. Doesn't even remember the last time he washed his hair with shampoo.
Misa don't shower. Misa don't shower.
And on that, we'll take a quick break. But we'll be back in just a minute on the Detroit Cast.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Oh, muy, I love you. Excuse me. Listen, hurry. Huh? Get this thing started. There isn't enough power. Misha called Jar Jar Binks. Misha, your humble servant. Ha 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 ha. Misha's the worst inventor in the Star Wars.
very, very bad. Well, that smells stinkerwith. Excuse me? No, not really, no. It's embarrassing. We shall be robbed uncrunched. Ye gods, what the Misa saying? Looky, Senator. He's a Jedi, all right. Mommy! Misa so excited to seeing you, sir. Misa busting with happiness seeing you again. Boom! Call Wazy. Whoops! Oops. Oh, no! No again. Misa back. I would. Oh, monster's back! Huh?
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
Hello. Alrighty. And we are back with the Detroit Cast, Wednesday edition. Mike and Jay here, and yeah, a lot to get to. Miley Cyrus. First off, we should address her and her stalker. And Harrison Ford, we'll get into that with the whole Star Wars thing. And Bonnaroo. We were rep there. The Detroit Cast was represented nicely at Bonnaroo. We can mention how that's gone. And but yeah, we should and McDonald's as well. Stalker.
How do stalkers pick victims?
I don't know.
Why would you pick her?
Again, I don't know. I don't know who these weirdos are, and I don't know what you do with them. But that's got to be really tough to have people stalking you.
I mean, frightening, man.
Creepy.
It would be.
Her lawyers were in court this week getting a restraining order against Devon Meeks, who's in a psych hospital. This guy apparently says he'd rather die than live without Cyrus.
Wow, what a fuck up.
He was arrested last month near her home. The order states that he must stay 100 yards away from her for 3 years. In other news with her, I guess she posted a topless photo of herself to Instagram over the weekend. Self-censored photo shows her only in underwear with her tongue sticking out. Enough with the tongue sticking out. Jesus.
Can we get that kind of order against us so we can be forced to stay 100 yards, 100 miles away from her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really.
God.
Get one in the reverse.
Walters likes her.
Yeah, I like Miley Cyrus. Yeah.
That's what I was pointing at when I was trying to say.
I wouldn't stalk her, though.
No, I know.
No. That
what
video
do you
was
like
hot,
about her?
though, man.
What do you like about her?
I liked. I was a big Hannah Montana fan. You think I'm kidding?
No,
I've seen a lot of those episodes.
It
They're
wasn't
great.
that bad of a show.
No, it was a very good show.
You took that.
There's see that. Look at that, dude. It's a nice titty there.
That's her.
No, you look like you're gonna vomit.
I'm about to sneeze, dude.
That's Miley Cyrus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess she get her.
Yeah,
And?
would she get hair extensions?
Maybe.
No, that's from a while ago.
Yeah.
That's from a while ago.
I don't know.
It's a nice titty.
See, Eric doesn't
do
shower,
anything for you?
doesn't keep up with the news. That's an old picture, Eric. Come on.
No, I just didn't.
You don't like that?
I have no interest in her. She just, I don't know.
Did you see her wrecking ball video?
I've seen like the main scene of it. Yeah, I haven't seen the whole
There's
thing.
nice titties, and the wrecking ball video is really hot.
No, but you literally like her because of the Hannah Montana days.
Yeah.
You're a big Saved by the Bell guy.
I was.
Back in the day,
Yep.
and so you sort of moved on to that as your next kid show.
Yeah, as I matured and grew up a little bit, got into it. Yeah, no, she annoys the shit out of me. It's becoming really, really hard to be a fan of hers.
Yeah.
But I'll still have my, I'll always have the Hannah Montana days.
There are a couple stalkers who actually killed fairly prominent victims. Like, wasn't there?
There was one that tried to kill. Was it Jody Walk?
Oh yeah. No, the whole President Reagan shooter was the Jody, whoever fan.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I hate that. I hate when I do that.
Silence of the Lambs.
Jodie Fisher.
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
No, but my sister Sam. Remember that show? My sister. I don't know why I remember this, but there's a show. My sister Sam in the late '80s or early '90s, and the main character.
Was she Mexican or not Selena?
Or something, or former spurned manager.
Her fan club manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it happens, man.
It's creepy. I mean, I remember having a fan show up at my house one day.
You being serious right
now? Totally serious. When I called in sick one day, not around here. Yeah.
God.
Mother of three showed up at my house. Soup.
What?
Yeah.
So what'd you do about that?
Thank you. No, and she's fine, harmless, but like you wonder, like, how do people know where you live?
How did Beth get your address?
And it's I don't want to trash anybody or anything like that, but it's just like you don't expect it,
whoa,
and it's like, whoa, hey, how you doing? crazy. So I can imagine on a level like that, where you've got real celebrity, like that would be. There's
Getting
no
through your security,
doubt.
like Kid Rock last year, right? Remember that dude?
Yeah, showed up at his house. Yeah, that's scary shit because you never know. You know, and you're starting to see more and more
They're
how
crazy
nutty.
enough to do that shit. They're crazy enough to just shoot you when you come to the door.
Yep. And we see it every day. Just how crazy people are and how they're just mingling about. Mm-hmm. They're all over us. And yeah, it's
here we go. Stalker who killed my sister Sam actress, stabbed in prison himself.
Really?
Yeah, a man convicted of killing a popular 1980s actress was stabbed in prison by a fellow inmate.
What was her name?
Bardo was convicted of stalking and killing Rebecca Schaefer, a teenage model who co-starred in the sitcom My Sister Sam. Bardo shot Schaefer in 1989 after she answered the door at her LA home.
What was her name? I'm sorry.
Rebecca Schaefer.
Rebecca Schaefer. Okay.
And so he shot her. He goes to jail. He's stabbed in 2007.
What year did he go to jail?
He killed her in. What did I just say?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Half listening. Sorry, dude.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. What does it matter? 97 to 2007.
1989. After she answered the door.
Yeah, imagine that. You're sitting at home minding your own business, having breakfast, and there's a knock at your door. You answer the door, and someone shoots you. Nice. For nothing more than they're a really big fan.
They want to be connected with you forever.
Yeah, it makes tons of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Speaking of crazy fans, Star Wars. Does anything get crazier than like the Star Trek?
Star Trek. I was going to say Star Trek.
Yeah, they're in a whole different playing field, right?
Yeah. With Eric and Binks.
Yeah, I know.
Misa, love you.
I know. When I learned that Eric was as big a Jar Jar Binks fan as he was, it freaked me out. It was weird, but because most people hated that character. I don't know if you knew that.
It's like he's the greatest CG character ever.
Okay, come on now. You're gonna start just throwing in.
You say it enough, it becomes true. So sorry, Jar Jar.
I'm like, no. I'm like, what about Gollum, dude? What about Gollum? There we go.
Yeah.
Well, that smells stinking with.
Yeah, it's talking about Eric
it's
there.
Embarrassing.
That is the worst character ever.
God, what the Misa saying?
It was incredible to watch. Like, no.
No.
How did you like the other Star Wars movies? Like
Dude,
the first three, we were all big fans of, right?
Right in our wheelhouse, you know. We were just the exact right age.
As kids.
It was perfect,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so, I, like many others, were very curious about how Darth Vader became Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wanted to see the first three.
Not really, no.
And I was disappointed in the stories.
Really?
Generally, the story fine. Okay, get it, but
it was a totally different thing, and
too much computer generation.
Yeah.
It was just a different feel to it.
Yes, and it got way political.
Yeah.
Like it definitely had a. It was like, wow, someone's trying to push their political views on us, and it had that tone throughout the whole movie. So it'll be interesting. I hope the characters we fell in love with, Han Solo and Luke and Leia and Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers, like those characters, by doing the first three the way they did, going back all those years later and making those movies, and seeing those characters as little kids or developing, like it didn't. We all wanted to see Stormtroopers and Vader, and it wasn't until the last one that it kind of had that feel. So I don't know how this new one will be.
Yeah, the new one then leaps forward from Return of the Jedi
to number 8. I guess
7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So where does it pick up with Darth Vader is dead?
Darth Vader's dead, and Han and Leia are apparently an item.
Wow.
And I think like the main characters going forward are their kids or something.
What could it?
Wow. So
who knows? It's a blank slate for J.J. Abrams to
that was
run
the
with,
thing.
I guess.
J.J. Abrams is a part of this. When people will remember from Lost.
Yep.
And he did the new Star Treks. Yeah. And those got fairly good reviews. People like those. Now these have not been written. These were written, like those first 6 movies were written by Lucas forever ago. That whole story.
The legend is that Lucas actually wrote 9 of them. I remember hearing that way back in the day, thinking, no way,
Yeah.
But he apparently at least outlined 9 stories, and the reason he started with number 4, episode 4, was he had one shot at making a movie, and he figured this is one that I can tell. You know, it worked. I've got the means to do it. I'm gonna start with number 4, tell that story about Luke Skywalker, and go from there.
In other words, I don't have time to build. Right. It's going to take 3 movies to build
who Darth Vader is and all this garbage.
So we'll pick it up here. I wonder if it was a good move then going back and starting with 1. I don't know. Those Star Wars fans are so fanatical.
Yeah.
I guess they're going to be there no matter what. But it's interesting to think of, like, Harrison Ford is a part. Like, they have that whole crew is back with this movie.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, except Harrison Ford's 71 years old now.
Right. Well, they it's not as if they're making them younger characters. They just move forward.
Right.
Say, 25 years later, here's here
in
are
a galaxy
characters.
not so far away.
All right.
Yes. Insurance policy out on Harrison Ford, specifically because he's 71 years old.
Oh man.
Yeah, I heard about that earlier today, as a matter of fact. And he actually had he was hospitalized last week. The injury was caused while Ford was using the door. His space. Yeah, it had a ramp that dropped down.
I don't think of that as the door.
Well, there's probably doors in Falcon. For some reason, I thought the Millennium Falcon was not going to be a part. They are. If
it's a character too, man. People love the Falcon.
Yeah. But I remember specifically like, wow, how do you not have the Millennium Falcon in it?
Yeah.
Like this
it didn't get blown up in Return of the Jedi. Remember, Lando flew it.
Yeah. God, is that what?
Yeah, Lando was flying it because Han Solo was on the planet Endor trying to turn off the tractor beam.
Really?
Yeah.
I got to go watch these again. I have them all upstairs. I need to go catch myself up with Star Wars. Their big day, the May 4th, May the 4th be with you, is Star Wars National Star Wars Day.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And this year they came out, they have all the Star Wars themed party. They had one that came out on I think it was for the May 4th, May the 4th be with you day, and it was Cantina. I don't know if you ever saw them, but they had like Ben Folds from Ben Folds 5, and it's basically these people trying out for the Cantina band. Okay,
the band that was in the original episode 4.
Yes.
Where Luke goes and meets Han Solo.
Yeah. And doesn't he shoot one of them? Doesn't Han shoot
Han Solo
one of them?
Shot Greedo.
Yeah.
And was he on the planet Endor trying to turn off a tractor beam, or he was trying to shut something down with respect to the new Death Star that was being built? And I don't want any listener calling me out on this, okay? I don't think it was the tractor beam. Tractor beam was what Obi-Wan Kenobi shut off in the first one. I think he was trying to shut down that massive laser beam that they blew up planets with.
This is the deflector shield.
The deflector shield, yeah.
Oh my God!
Okay, so that all these guys could fly in, yeah. That's right.
I don't remember that at all. I remember the garbage compactor, the trash compactor, and I remember him being frozen in the.
Oh, that was sweet.
Yeah, it was sad. It was tough. I didn't think he'd ever get out of there. When he was, what was it that was pressed into?
Carbonite.
Was it carbonite? God, Jay. Carbon freeze, you nerds. You guys are epic nerds. Jar Jar Binks fan over here, and you guys over here. Well, you want to check out some of the Cantina editions with Ben Folds from Ben Folds 5. Great.
Hey, Figran, how's my favorite client doing, huh? The Moss Isley Maestro himself. How's it hanging, huh? You met my assistant, Honda Baba, right? Okay, the Cantina Band's next star is in this group today, I promise you.
Dave
the bright center of the universe, it's here. All right, first up is Chris Darthtree.
Chris Darthtree.
I will embrace the dark side with all the anger inside. I'll make the Jedi pay.
It's dressed up like Darth Maul.
Across the galaxy.
I like it. Figure he's got the look and that tough attitude.
How cool was Darth Maul?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What is that? What is that? Can you please get rid of it? Is it gone?
I shot an Ewok, baby.
There's Ben Folds.
He's dressed as a stormtrooper.
Sans the helmet.
Whipped out my master blaster, baby. Shot the furry little fella from his tree.
You're a monster.
The Ewoks were awful.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, protect our planet. So fragile in space. The Death Star won't be satisfied till all life is erased.
Whoa! Get off the stage, you tree hugger!
I'm not a tree hugger. The Death Star literally destroys planets.
No,
I do mean literally. It has a giant laser that blows up planets. Hey! 1, 2, 3, 4, we don't want your galactic war!
R.G. Watts. Dressed up as an R2.
All right, so I know you guys aren't vibing on the Sand People, right? But, you know, we kind of get a bad rap. I mean, why do you think we're called the Sand People, brah? Because we love the beach, dude. You know what I'm saying? Totally non-violent. What's that? No time to find out. Kill every Jawa in sight! Slaughter them all!
Sorry.
Force binds us together.
Jordan Sparks.
Keeps us apart. But there's no room for love in a Jedi.
That was really good. That was beautiful.
Thank you for your support. Now I need your support. Cast your votes now, guys. Come on.
Hey, lady, that's not how this works.
Help me, voters. You're my only hope.
Are you trying to vote for her? Okay, Rick
Forcefield. Rick Forcefield.
Sorry, Rick Forcefield. It says here you can play the guitar using only the Force.
Oh.
Oh, it's incredible.
Can't see nothing yet. 2, 3, 4!
Did you ever try to use the Force to get like the remote control or something like that when you were a kid?
I said
Yeah,
fucking
didn't work.
disturbance in the Force!
Banthamil.
Weird Al.
Creamy and blue. Squeeze from a space jack. It's healthy for you. Hey!
Sorry, Bob, not feeling that one. Got anything else?
Yeah, sure. Here's a new one. Rudely stew with Master Yoda's brew. A Dagobah dish that smells funky to Luke. Hey!
Yeah, you got anything else that isn't about food?
Pickle dog. It's a spacey spice treat.
Pass.
Slime yeast.
No.
Meat lump. Fumble the lump.
All right, eat it, pal.
Storm man.
You're a poor moisture farmer.
Lisa
I'm a
Loeb.
lady of Naboo. We're from two different
It's a hologram
worlds,
of Lisa
but
Loeb.
I only have 3 eyes for you.
Wow, she
Adorable. I
looks
wish I could
exactly
hug
the
you in
same.
person.
Yeah.
Say, why you on hologram anyway?
I overbooked myself. I'm a general in the Galactic Civil
She
War.
looks identical.
Those nerdy glasses.
Yeah.
Bubba
Fett.
Well, I bounty hunt for Jabba Hutt to finance my bet.
Well, hold on a sec. You ain't Boba Fett. He got tossed in the Sarlacc pit.
Are you serious, dude? I escaped that ish. Started rapping. Had to get out of the bounty hunter game.
Who is
Would have wound
that?
up dead.
I don't know.
Frozen in carbonite. Yo, what's that weird dude saying?
Relax, kid. Today's your lucky day. He likes you. Welcome to the modal nodes.
All right! Boba Fett is back!
Boba Fett? Where?
That's how Boba Fett died. Remember?
Maybe we should
Han
Really?
Solo turned around. He was blinded still after coming out of the carbonite freeze.
Remember that?
Turned around and whacked him in the rocket pack, and he went flying into the Sarlacc pit.
Oh my God, dude! I don't even remember that.
Yeah. Do you know Eric likes the Ewoks too?
Really?
It's incredible.
Doesn't surprise me. Sand people were sand people that.
No, those were the Ewoks were the little bears, the little teddy bears.
Yeah, yeah. People didn't like them either, did they?
God.
Irritating. Now, We got one more here for the Star Wars thing, top 10. That's what she says. I don't know. I'm skeptical, but
it's not bad.
yeah.
There's an awful lot of moisture in here. Hey, point that thing someplace else.
You came necking? You're braver than I thought.
Get in there, you big filthy I don't care what you smell.
Control, control. You must gain control.
She may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts, kid.
Luke, at that speed, will you be able to pull out in time?
Look at me. Just me by my size, do you?
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Knew that one was coming.
Yeah.
Look at the size of that thing.
Oh, man. Star Wars. Yeah.
So the next one comes out next year, right?
Yeah, it seems like it's a ways away.
Yeah.
But they are filming, and I don't know. I hope it'll be good. I'm sure it will be. I'm sure the fans of Star Wars will like it, no matter what.
Yeah, they'll go.
Yeah. Anyway, have you seen? We were talking about Bonnaroo because our fine listener took the Detroit Cast beach ball. Out there, we had all those pictures posted and
did
video.
some real detailed work on that beach ball too. You know, it's not like you just scrawled the Detroit Cast. I mean, they put a nice old English D on there and designed it up real good.
It looked good, man, and it's pretty cool. They got a write up in a lot of the papers actually about who's there and how they did, and they definitely have a unique lineup. It's weird when you see Jack White, Lionel Richie on the same card.
Yeah.
Is it me you're looking for?
Oh, God, no.
We were driving Eric nuts pre-show.
Yeah. Lionel Richie was great.
Dude, he ruled the world for like 3 years there in the 80s.
Yeah, at
He's
least.
a smooth motherfucker.
He is a rich motherfucker.
Every time I hear that, though, makes me want to roller skate.
Roller skate? Oh, like shoot the duck roller skate?
It makes me want to hold hands, do a little couple skate.
I immediately think of the video with the blind woman making the giant clay head.
Crazy ass looking head after. Yeah.
That it was creepy.
It was creepy.
But yeah, so he was there. Kanye West too. I guess his set was delayed.
Yeah, that's an eclectic group for sure.
Booed.
What's that?
He was getting majorly booed.
Kanye was?
Oh yeah, and then someone had wrote like "F you Kanye" on his
microphone.
Speakers.
Didn't he do something stupid like he wore a mask the whole? Right, I know.
That's part of his set as it is.
Oh, okay.
That mask is supposed to represent
in the dark and stuff. So
yeah, yep, exactly. He wore that mask. I don't know, for almost the whole night. It sounds like.
It's part of his set.
But then he had like the screens on the side of the stage. I mean, at these festivals, you got there's that clay head. It's so weird.
You know what he looks like is the guy from the Soul Glow guy and Coming to America.
Yeah.
That's who the head looks like more than Lionel Richie.
Was that Eddie Murphy playing that role?
No,
or was it...
no, it was a different guy. It was just the boyfriend that Eddie was trying to get the girl away from. I think his name was Eric, wasn't it?
Because those guys both played a few character parts.
Right. I know what you're talking about. No, it was a.
Sworn the Soul Glow guy was character. No.
89% sure. No.
Yeah. Just let you.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, Lionel
how
still
big that is.
That head is huge. Creepy. God, is that weird?
It's like, thanks, baby.
He looks like a football player. That head looks huge. Yeah. He looks good, though. He's got to be, what, 70?
Oh, yeah.
Lionel Richie? I mean, he was doing this with the Commodores.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him there. He looks good. This is not my first Bonnaroo. Certainly not my last, Lionel Richie told the main stage audience Saturday night. That's not entirely accurate, they say. I guess he appeared there in 2012 with Kenny Rogers, performed a couple dozen songs.
Really?
Yeah. Including
Kenny Rogers?
Kenny Rogers. He did 3 Times a Lady, Sail On, Fancy Dancer, Sweet Love.
Do you do Hello?
Is it me you're looking for? This time he would have for sure. Yeah. Not with Kenny Rogers. Everybody else is just visiting, Jack White says. He lives an hour up the road in Nashville, making him a hometown headliner. The funny thing is they got a picture of Jack White here, and when I first pulled it, I looked and I went, oh my God, Prince was there. And when you walked in and saw it, you went, oh my God, that's Jack White? You could have given me 20 guesses. I would not have said that was Jack White. And
yeah, it's so
you thought
weird.
It looked like Prince as well.
Yeah, it's a profile picture of him, and just the way he's kind of like, he's doing that cool guitar face, like he's really getting into it.
Rocking it.
Yeah, and his hair's kind of back like Prince. I don't know.
And the jacket.
Yeah, that sells it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said fluffy collar deal going on.
I've said it before, and I never would have dreamed in a million years, but I went and saw Prince at the Palace. Drew and I went to that show.
Yeah, you said he was sweet, right?
He was fucking amazing. Amazing. He was really, really good. But yeah, so anyway, Kanye, Friday night, he began at 10:08. He performed much of his set wearing the full face mask, and he rarely used the video screens. That would piss people off too. You know those big giant screens? You got 100,000 people in the stands or in the crowd there, and they were just like displaying have cameras on there so they could see from a mile back from the stage. You can actually see him.
I wonder if it was really him.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, it sounds like he wanted to do everything he could to make it so that it would be questionable, maybe. But
that's art, man. That's art.
Yeah. Well, he was getting, like Eric said, booed, and people were kind of F-ing him for showing up late, but he was immediately trying to blame Pearl Jam. He's like, he blamed the late start of his previous appearance on the headliners. Pearl Jam went on 3 hours long. He told the crowd, they said I was running late. Where the press at? Is y'all going to write all these fuckers putting their hands up right now? I don't know. Expletive, he said.
Yeah, that is what he said, though, what you're saying.
Joe, without being a fucking prick, can he not have some controversy every time he takes the stage? There's got to be something wrong, and somebody's screwing him over. It's unbelievable. Yeah, 15,000 people they say could see him, but with those screens not working, most people couldn't. His wife was there too. Kim Kardashian was at the soundboard.
He also at one point yelled at them that he was the number one motherfucking rock star on the planet, and people just started chanting. People just started chanting, "Fuck you, Kanye!" and
really
started walking away.
He's
losing. I think he's losing.
Me too.
Right now, I think he thinks he's really big.
Yep.
And I think he's losing it. I think his marriage to Kim, as much as whether they love each other, who knows. But that's hurting him because I think people that are bummed out that don't like him see him, and I think all that stuff they talk about, that Q rating, you know what I mean? It's way down.
Yeah,
way down.
I think he's in trouble too. People don't like how he's been so cocky for so long, and
wears on you.
Yeah, it does, and I agree. I think he is fading fast. Him and I don't think he realizes it either. The other one is Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is so done.
Yeah.
That dude, I mean, I've said it so many times. He absolutely reminds me of that shithead from the 70s. What's his name?
Leif Garrett?
Leif Garrett, yeah. He is Leif Garrett. Who invited me to a barbecue at his house and then blew me off.
What?
Son of a bitch. Yeah. I went and saw a shitty band at the Viper Room in L.A. And because we'd had him on the show, and he came in studio and we were talking about it, and off the air, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be in L.A., and he's like, oh, I'm playing at the Viper Room. You should come. And I was like, oh, all right. And so I did, and took a few people there. And that night we were, he was sober and drunk as shit, and was like, yeah, man, I'm having a barbecue at my house. You got to come. Bring everyone over. And gave me his number. I already had his number, but was like, yeah, call me in the morning. And so I did. Called him in the morning. I figured it'd just be a great story. Who knows? And never call back. Wouldn't call back. Son of a bitch blew me off. I didn't want to go to your stupid barbecue anyways.
Sounds like you did. You called him?
I didn't. I just wanted a story.
Writing yourself in, telling you're going to be in L.A.
Mike was hungry, man.
I was starving.
Barbecue sounds good.
Sounds just like the Playboy Mansion.
I went to the Playboy Mansion, you son of a bitch. I didn't get blown off there.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
What?
By Pam Anderson.
Oh, no. That doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm not going to take a picture.
Sons of
Now
bitches.
this is twice.
I didn't want the picture.
Oh, you asked.
I was asked to take the picture, and then she faced me. It was bullshit. I didn't want the stupid picture anyways. I didn't like her.
Barbecue now.
Sons of bitches. I hate every one of you.
No, but for real on the with the Kanye thing, him too though, dude. You can be that guy, but eventually, people if they stop showing it. Oh
Yeah.
well then.
Well, didn't his thought it didn't sell well at all, and
I'm not really a Kanye fan, but I've heard it.
yeah, and those guys, if you're gonna make it in music nowadays, you're making your money on your tours.
Oh yeah.
That's where you're making money. It used to be where you'd sell hundreds and thousands and millions of albums. You're not selling albums anymore.
Everybody's just onesie twosing it on iTunes, right? Just getting what they want.
Spotify and all those music apps. So they make their money on the road. That in T-shirt sales and all their merch sales and ticket sales, and that was a disaster for him. So, and that's really telling as far as where an artist stands. If you're not filling the seats, you're done. So, yeah, I don't know.
Did you see that Eminem's, just real quick, speaking of stuff, did you see that with Eminem?
No.
How he became the first artist to be a double diamond digital sales?
Really?
Yes. For
Diamond being 10 million?
Yeah. For the, what was it? The Love You Wait, the one with Rihanna, and then the other main one off that CD. It's off the last CD, not this CD. But two of his singles have gone double digital, double diamond. Or regular diamond, sorry. Just.
So that would have been the Eminem show?
Love the Way You Lie with Rihanna. No, and Not Afraid.
So wait, what are you saying? The album or the songs?
Those singles.
Those
single
singles.
songs have gone diamond on digital sales.
So you said double diamond.
Sorry, my bad.
They each went diamond. So
Yes.
double diamond being each selling 10 million.
He's the first to have a double diamond digital.
Wow.
So two songs though, but
They used to have two diamonds.
Yeah, that's still
that just
impressive.
happened though. That just came out either yesterday or the day before.
Wow.
That happened. Which I really like hearing. You know what I mean? Even though I'm not into music, I like that people. It seems like are buying again, kind of in a sense. I don't think everybody's just free getting stuff anymore. Maybe not.
Well,
maybe I'm wrong.
he's one of the very few artists who can actually drop a record and sell hundreds of thousands of copies week one.
Yeah.
He'll ship platinum right out of the gate, and that's super rare. I mean, back in the day, NSYNC and you know those boy bands they'd sell 200,000 copies opening week. Eminem would too. Nowadays, it's very, very hard for a band to sell any copies, but Eminem still does. He'll still move them. Impressive. But yeah, selling double diamond for two singles. That's impressive. Well, why don't we call it a day for the Wednesday Detroit cast? But we'll be on this week that I wanted to mention. But is there anything I'm missing? It'll be one of those where as soon as we turn off the mics, I'll go, God damn it!
Click the donate button.
Yeah, click the donate button.
That's what we got going on this week.
Every little bit helps.
A new announcement.
I think they maybe will bring that banner by for you to sign, Jay. I was talking to Nicholas Getz a little bit, and I think he was just kind of in charge of the auction for it.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I didn't know if he was going to come by today or one day this week, but we'll see.
That's very weird.
Why?
Do I really have to sign this thing? I mean,
yeah, hell yeah, you do. I mean, you're sitting there on a microphone with headphones on.
Feels weird.
Why?
It's just.
You want your
I'm going
autographs.
to put my name, next to Drew and Mike and.
The legendary Mike Walters.
And don't forget me.
Oh yeah. Oh, Eric's on there. Fine. I feel better.
With Eric's autograph with 69 on it, I think.
Oh jeez.
And then it says sex. Get it?
Genius.
Oh, Eric, you are
it's a big
piece
banner,
of work.
so you can go way to the right or left. You know,
Okay.
to stay away from Eric.
And on that note, why don't we wrap it up for a day? And but we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, as Jay suggests, hit the donate button. It does
Send
help.
us emails.
Send us emails. Yeah,
Got
were there
a
any
stack we didn't get to.
You know what? You want to read a couple of them?
Yeah,
real
you know
quick?
what? Let me
We can do
read before this one gets too old. Remember the story where the drunk girl backed over her dad?
Yes.
Bone me.
Yeah. Bone me.
Poor Bone me died.
Yeah.
Cheryl writes in, my mother's father ran over her. When my mom was around 7 years old, she was playing outside. Her dad of the house to the car so he could follow them. The garage and ran over her. The tire ran right over her leg. He stopped, saw that she was alive, and left to go follow the emergency vehicle.
Oh my God, what an asshole!
Yes, that's my mother's father, folks. He was probably drunk too.
Wow.
That's brutal.
That is brutal.
Oh my God.
What some people have had to go through with
It's
family.
one thing to do it, but then you just, oh well, she's fine.
I know, man. Celia writes in on this theme of the drunk thing. We're getting more and more people writing in about wanting us to be drunk, wanting us to try drunk show.
All right.
She's back in this thing. She said, I remember a few episodes ago there were suggestions on you guys getting drunk for the show, and there may be concern. why don't you try to find a free night if that's possible and record while drinking, like a Friday or Saturday, and see what happens. Then there's the option of editing or not posting it all together. Might be fun. Love the show. Thanks again for 5 days a week.
Yeah.
You know, we're really getting a lot of push to do this.
Yeah.
There's been several others.
There's no legal issue with us doing it. We can absolutely do that and get as shit as you want. I guess the only thing that worries me.
Will it be fruitful?
Well, no, I'm sure it would. I'm sure it would be fun. We'd probably say shit that we would regret later about ourselves and tell stories that we would be later regretting telling. But outside of that,
we'd forget to hit record and stop, and the webcam would be pointing at Monster's butthole or something.
Yeah. Well, I worry more than that about people getting shit-faced here and then hopping in their cars and leaving.
Yeah.
And being responsible on some end for that, you know, like leaving my house drunk as shit. Eric, I'm looking at you.
I don't drive drunk.
Yeah, you make other people drive drunk.
People drive me drunk.
So which means they'll hit one of you two up for a ride later. Take Eric home with you for the night. But yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it one of these days for sure. Is that it? Is that it for the
got
email?
a few more, but we can save them.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll wrap up a Wednesday edition of the Detroit Cast. We will be back tomorrow. So do your job and tell people to listen to us. And happy birthday, G Money. Love you, bro. And yeah, we'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to God, watch you grow, you know now.